Welcome back, everyone. It is Wednesday, December 3rd in the NBA. My favorite plays are on the way, including a long shot parlay. Let's dive into things. As always, my name is Austin. Thank you for tuning in. We must first recap how we did on Tuesday. Solid day for us, not a crazy one. Went up a little bit, 0.33 units. We cashed our VIP play. Luke Cornett's under. Harrison Barnes threes. Come on. I guess I should give myself a pat on the back for that one. He made 3 in the first quarter and made 7. Man, I wish I laddered that bad boy up there. Josh Hart, we did ladder his points. He cashed his regular line. Managed to end with 19, which is just tough. That was only a 0.1 unit play, but tough to see there. Then we lost Derek Queen's under. I don't know if I would have taken that if I knew Zion was out, but I should know Zion's not playing. That man's he's the new PTO besides Bradley Beal. And Brandon Ingram, he scored 21. The volume was there, but again, 2 of his teammates hit his line. So again, I wouldn't expect 3 Raptors to hit that line. But either way, let's keep the line moving today. We have a big slate of action. Let's dive into things. We will have another ladder challenge that we've lost 8 straight in a row. It has been a grind for the ladder. I told myself I would do one today, and I would do one Thursday. If we can't hit one of these next 2, we lose 10 straight. We might have to take a break. But today will be a little bit different. No more SGPs, maybe 2 legs from one game. We're just going to try to find our favorite plays across the board, put them in a parlay, and hope for the best. But you know what? Speaking of a parlay, let's lead things off with a long shot. You guys love the under and threes. That's what we're rolling with here. We have a plus 1256 parlay on DraftKings, putting 0.13 units. Like I said, 0.13 because 13 is my lucky number. It cashed and helped us out on, what was that, Friday or Saturday? See if we can do it once again here. A fading Cooper Flag. He hasn't been knocking down threes. Been playing well, not knocking down threes. Noah Clowney, don't love his matchup against the Bulls. LaMelo, fading him. And then 2 Spurs, De'Aaron Fox and Julian Champagnie, both their unders in threes. I wish Harrison Barnes had a 2.5 line. We'll talk about him in a second. But I like all these ones. Under and threes. Hey, they tend to pay. I'm just saying. There's a reason it was my most profitable market last season. We'll see if we can smack this bad boy. Throw a little bit of boost on it. 0.13 units on a 1256. Why not? Why not us? Let's dive into an Underdog fantasy slip. Then we'll get into our favorite picks. A reminder, Underdog, you guys know we love them. One of the best daily fantasy apps out there. If you haven't signed up now, I would encourage you to, because all you got to do is play $5 and you get $100 in bonus funds plus some free picks. All you got to do is make sure you use my code COS and you get all that stuff. So again, code COS or the link down below. If it is in your state, you better get on it. I'm just saying. All right, here's my Underdog slip. We did an under and threes parlay on Underdog a few days ago, and that one also cashed. These are 3 of my favorites. The cool thing about Underdog is you can take guys' lines up. So, for instance, Harrison Barnes, I would have had him in our under and threes parlay, but he's not available at 2.5 on any of the books. But on Underdog, you can move him there. 2.5, love fading him against the Magic. Mikal Bridges, I'll talk about him a little bit later on in this video. Same with LaMelo Ball. I moved LaMelo up 1. His normal line is 3.5. I'd take him at 4.5. He ain't making 5 against the Knicks. That's about 2 extra money. If I can make the ladder challenge that, I probably would. That baby is smacking. But let's dive into the regular plays, baby. Let's get into our first one, and it is just if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I regret fading this guy in his most recent game. I won't do it again. It's Jalen Johnson over 40.5 PRAs, minus 112 on FanDuel, a 1-unit play. I'd play it at 41.5. In my opinion, Jalen Johnson's going for 45 or more, or he's not going to get to 40. So I don't really think the line makes a big difference what you're playing here. Knock on wood. Like I said, Jalen Johnson, when the guy's just hooping, you got to back him. Now, you can't try to get sharp and be like, oh, it's a bad matchup for him. No, the guy's just playing out of his mind. He's over this line at 9 of his last 11. 3 straight games with 53, 62, and 49 PRAs. He's over in 7 straight games without Kristaps, who's again scheduled to miss today's game. They don't really have a lot of scoring. It's him, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. That's about it. Onyeka, a pretty good assist target if Jalen wants to get some assists. Dyson Daniels, that man doesn't shoot open threes. Outside of that, that's really all they got. He's just getting a ton of usage, and I could swear this guy does not check out of the game. He plays, I swear, every single minute. And when you look on the court, I swear he's there. And as I said, he's playing too much. I mean, I got to keep riding. I got to ride with him here and ride until the wheels fall off. They did just play the Clippers, who they will play today. That game, barely the team squeaked over 200 points combined. They scored 207. Jalen did go under. He had 34 PRAs. That was kind of the last game before it really got hot. He played 35 minutes, but Vic Krejci off the bench had 28. Kristaps played in that game as well. I think this is a much higher scoring game, 230 total. This is a Clippers defense has been struggling lately. We just saw Cooper Flag torch them for 35 points. Fast-paced game against a very slow Clippers team. Count me in on Jalen Johnson. The guy's just a beast. I'll roll with him. He's playing out of his mind. Let's just roll with him. Let's not try to get cute. Take his over in PRAs. He's stuffing the stat sheet. Love this spot for him. My second play is going to be an under. Let's talk about Lonzo Ball under 7.5 points, -110 on Fanatics, a 1-unit play. Him and the Cavs are playing host to the Portland Trailblazers. And from what I see as I record this, Darius Garland's going to play. Donovan Mitchell's going to play. Majority of the Cavs playing besides Jared Allen and Sam Merrill. I don't really care about those two guys not playing. What I really care about is Darius Garland suiting up. Now, heck, Lonzo Ball might not even suit up. I believe he's dealing with an illness, but he's kind of been resting on back-to-backs. I would expect him to be ready to go here. If he wants to go out there, play a little bit sick, not feel good, you could leave the game after 1 minute. By all means, we'll certainly take that. But I like fading him with Darius Garland back and obviously Donovan Mitchell playing. I actually was going to take his under in threes, which is 1.5. However, when I looked at the games in which he's played with Garland, he has attempted 16 shots in the 4 games with Garland active. All 16 of them were 3-pointers. So again, not getting on the free throw line, just chucking up threes. So instead of taking the 1.5 threes, I'd much rather the 7.5 points, because if he's only shooting threes, he's going to have to make 3 of them to probably sink us here. And him to make 3 threes is plus 250. So again, I think this line's just a tad too high. If you look at the matchup, Portland, a team that doesn't give up a ton of spot up shots. In fact, 5th fewest 3-point attempts allowed, 8th fewest points per game from the above the break threes, which is where Lonzo scores 70% of his points. Lonzo's just not out there shooting a ton. When he's out there, he's mostly facilitating for his teammates. He's not really attacking the paint. I think this line's a tad too high for him, assuming Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are in, which I would expect them to be in. They don't play tomorrow. They think they play on Friday. So I think this line's a tad too high. I hope Lonzo suits up because I love the spot. Love his under 7.5 points today. My third play is actually going to be another under. It's our Dub Club exclusive play, and under in threes. If you recall, last season, I believe we were 36-9, 80% on the unders in threes. We are 8-4 so far this season. So it's probably my best market. It's the reason I do those long shot parlays with the under and threes. We'll see if we can smack another one. Again, if you want to join 50% off your first month, again, you get all the plays that you see in these videos early to try to avoid some of the line movement. You also get some exclusive plays, which have been red hot in the NFL, and the NBA is just about to heat up. I'm just saying December is going to be a big month for them. I'm just saying. Let's get into a Q1 prop. I don't think I've taken a single Q1 prop. Let's see if this guy can start off like Harrison Barnes last night. Jalen Brunson, I'm laddering his points for the first quarter. I took his over 8.5 first quarter points at -120 on DraftKings for a half unit. I also took the 12 plus for plus 299 on DraftKings as well. I want to say the 12 plus on FanDuel's like plus 220. Still maybe play it there for a quarter, just quarter or 0.2 units. I love Jalen Brunson tonight. I almost took his regular over in points, but it's 29.5. And I don't know if he gets there if he doesn't start off hot. And speaking of hot, that's the exact opposite of what he's been in the last 2 games. As we would know, he was in the ladder challenge last night. He honestly took a miracle to get the job done for what we needed from him there, because he sucked. He shot 5-6 for 21, something like that. He was terrible. Back-to-back bad games. Well, today he gets an A-plus matchup against the Hornets. The Hornets are a team. Their identity is just like the Magic. They stay home on spot-up shooters, and they force your number 1 guy to beat you. And as a result, I would expect Jalen Brunson to have a great usage, especially in Q1. Now, this game's uncompetitive. We don't really care because we're getting in and out after the first quarter. But again, I look at Brunson. He's been pretty good at hitting this line, over this line in 11 of his last 16. Just speaking to the regular 8.5. He has ended with 12 points in a few of those games. Not a ton, but he has gotten to the 12 points. He did last year have a game where he scored 19 in the first quarter against the Hornets. And again, if you look at the last time these two teams played just a few days ago, he scored 9 points, had 8 field goal attempts in the first, 1 free throw attempt. Look, the guy rarely has bad back-to-back games, and normally that next game he comes back super aggressive. This is a great spot for him. Like I said, when these two teams just played, it was a blowout. He played 34 minutes, but he shot 28 times in those 34 minutes. So again, I think this is a spot they live with him beating them early. If they make adjustments late in the game, we don't care. We just want this first quarter to go well. I think he can get us 9. I think the 12 at nearly plus 300 is worth a little bit of a sprinkle. I think he could go for 15 plus, but 12 plus is certainly something he could do. He plays typically the entire first quarter. So again, not a lot of wiggle room, which is why this is not a full 1 or 1.5 unit play, but I do think this is an A plus spot for Brunson to get going. Love his overs tonight, especially in Q1. And then my final play of the day is going to be a 2-leg parlay. It's a same game parlay in the same game. It's 2 guys we've already touched on. LaMelo Ball under 3.5 threes and Mikal Bridges under 2.5 threes, plus 136 on FanDuel. Like I said, just a half unit play. if you're on FanDuel, you can play this in the Your Way tab. I was apparently did not know that in Canada they don't even have the Your Way tab. So maybe I won't take any plays that you might only be able to find in the Your Way because DraftKings, man, I was on their book all morning waiting. They kept putting McCall at 2.5, back to 1.5. I don't hate him at 1.5, but obviously a big difference between 1.5 and a 2.5 3-point line. We just faded Bridges in his last game against not his last game, yesterday, his last time they faced the Hornets. We just touched on why we were like Brunson. They stay home on spot up shooters. And in that game against the Hornets, he attempted, I think, 1 3-pointer. He just wasn't shooting them. Now he is coming off a game last night. If you watched the Knicks game, he made 8 of them. He could not miss. So I don't mind fading him on a back-to-back here, especially in a different matchup than it was against the Celtics. And then LaMelo, the man, his shot's not falling. Under in 10 straight games. Brandon Miller is probably out for this game. And so, again, the Knicks gave up a lot of threes, but they don't give up a lot of threes to the pick-and-roll ball handler. In fact, they are pretty good against those guys, the guys setting up guys. They give up a lot of spot-up shots. So look for Knipple. Miles Bridges probably scores 15 in the first half to piss me off. So, again, I think this is a great spot to fade both these two fellows, plus 136 for a little half-unit play. I think we had a good chance at smacking that one. So to recap the official card, we have Jalen Johnson's over in PRAs. We have Lonzo Ball's under in points. We have our Dub Club exclusive under in threes, a 1-unit play. Those are all the 3 1-unit plays. Then we have obviously Jalen Brunson first quarter points, a little bit of a ladder on the first quarter, and this little 2-leg SGP with Mr. LaMelo and Bridges, both their unders in threes. Love it. Think we're cashing. And then for the final play, we're doing the long shot, a little parlay here for 0.13 units, just trying to go and hit a little bit of a lightning in the bottle, which we've already hit once this season. We'll see if the under in threes can get hot. If I had to pick my 3 favorite, obviously love LaMelo. I would have done Bridges if DraftKings had him at 2.5, but they kept moving him down to 1.5. And then Flag's a pretty good one. I'd probably go Champagny. So if I look for my top 3, it's probably LaMelo, Champagny, and then Bridges if you have Bridges at 2.5. But either way, thank you guys for tuning in. Later on today, we'll have 2 NFL videos dropping, one at noon. That will be our game picks video. We go through every game on the Sunday slate. And later on tonight, Thursday night football video drops, which we have a great game tomorrow. We also have a ladder challenge posted later today. I will try my best to get us a winner. The fact we lost 8 straight is honestly insanity. Losing by 1 rebound yesterday. Don't even get me started on it. Today's will be different. I can't go all into one game. I just can't. At most, I will have 2 legs of one game, try to diversify the portfolio, and try to cook you guys up a winner because we are in desperate need of one. Either way, I'm out of here. Have a great day, and let's have ourselves we're so due a sweep. We're due a sweep, and we're due a ladder cashing. Those 2 things are happening today. Let's get it done. Peace out.